Winner bracket final. Let's go. The X Cup fall, everybody. Team against the Chili Donuts. Another best of 5 that will determine which team moves on to the grand final of the double elimination system tournament. Yeah, and honestly, this is a great start into the final day of the tournament. Yeah, and it started with someone congratulating me on stream for the way my hair looks today. And honestly, there's this misconception that if you have your head shaved, you know that you don't have to spend a lot of time in the bathroom. And I absolutely agree. Shower time is significantly reduced. I mean, it is super fast. At the same time, though, if you don't have a lot of hair, then you have to make sure that every single one of them is just aligned perfectly or it messes up the entire look. So there's a lot more to it than people actually believe. And you have to take that into consideration. So yeah, thank you very much. But yes, Battlefield of Eternity is our first map in the best of 5. And this is going to be good. The Donuts, they did so well in this tournament. They took down the Hardos. I mean, every single game that these guys played was just incredible. They played against Gunners On, they played against the Hardos. We had some epic matches from them. And now we're seeing them go up against Team, who's obviously still the favorite in the tournament. I mean, these guys have been winning everything. Ultralisk with Li Ming, we get Zelia and Lucio. And dare I say it, Zelia in the last 2 days has been the weak link of the team. It's actually incredible to say that, but it's true. He had some troubles here. He went just a bit too deep in a lot of those fights and then died as a result. So we'll see if that continues today. Maybe that's something that can be exploited by the Donuts. We have Zarya banned out against Rutsu as usual. And Vala has also been eliminated. I think we're going to see a lot more of those Vala bans coming in today, which makes me a bit sad. But then again, Make again with his Lunara, so he's going full Bambi on this one. And he's been doing that quite a bit. That epic match on the first day where the Chili Donuts played against the Hardos on Tomb of the Spider Queen comes to mind, for example, where Make's Lunara was absolutely crucial for how close that game was then in the end. And Uburak and Urel are also being locked in. Every single time I see that as a combo, it reminds me of the Eastern Clash, the last Eastern Clash that we had in HGC back then in Korea, because the Korean teams, they really went deep on an Uburak and Urel. Every single time they could get that combo, they would go for it, and it was super successful throughout the entire tournament. So since then, obviously, a lot of patches have hit, a lot of things have changed in the meta, but it's still a good combo to play. And every single time I see it, it just reminds me of that event. Masquerade on Tyrael. Now we've seen him a few times already with Judgment, and if they try to do it here, they could maybe even go into a Shockwave on Hogger as a potential follow-up with Li Ming trying to get the damage connected. So there's a lot of plays that they can try and make. But it will definitely be interesting to see how this one pans out, because again, this series is going to determine who moves directly to the grand final, which is the best of 7. We got Malfurion and we have Tracer, so that's a pretty aggressive lineup for the Donuts. And Uburak engage, Malfurion follow up with a Root. On top of that we have Lunara played by Make and Tracer now by Rutsu. And only one pick left. Dainu! We still need to see what he goes for with the damage. I mean, even Genji is a possibility here. So he could go for that. Li Ming, Genji, good comp, also for Battlefield of Eternity. But the answer is Genji. There he is. Alright guys, first map in the best of 5. Let's go. It is the winner bracket final of the X Cup fall. Let's move straight into the first match between the Chili Donuts and Team Alright guys, game number 1, let's go. The Donuts are gonna kick this off right now with the first map being Battlefield of Eternity. They're going up against Team in today's series. On the left side we have Dainu for the blue team with Genji. We got Quasar on Hogger, Ultralisk on Li Ming, Zelia is playing Lucio, and Masquerade on Tyrael. On the right side of the map, Chili Donuts with Make on Lunara, and a quick pause here by our Urel player. Now, Lauba, it took him a lot of... Lauba was actually missing in the lobby for the longest time before the draft even started, and apparently he had a big bathroom break there. So he proudly announced that as well when he came back. Maybe those are the after effects of it, I'm not quite sure. But from Lauba's bathroom and toilet habits to some Heroes of the Storm action, let's introduce the rest of the lineup. We got Rutsu on Tracer, we got Banana H on Malfurion, and Lauba himself on Nubarak, playing the Cockroach here in game number 1. So this should be a pretty interesting one. Kicks the series off, and we're going to see which team takes the lead in this best of 5. And yeah, this should be a very good indicator of how strong the Donuts are in comparison to a team who obviously still is the favorite to win the entire tournament. I actually ran a poll on my Twitter account earlier today. You can find the link in the description if you're interested. But most of the people, roughly 50%, thought that from the 4 remaining teams in this tournament, Team would lock in the W and crown themselves the champion of the season. And I think that pretty much also matches the success that they had over the last few months. Donuts, on the other hand, nobody really believed in them, and I found that pretty interesting considering that they are here in the winner bracket final. But yeah, there's a lot of strong teams, of course, left in the tournament, and we'll figure out pretty quickly which team has the best shot here. So let's take a look at Team and what they're going to do now. We have on level 1, well, first of all, we have for Genji the Swift as the win, so he's going into a Swift Strike setup. With Ether Walk for Liming, also pretty much the norm. We have currently 2 heroes up at the top, with Tracer trying to help out a bit, and it's going to be a split on the camp very likely, as Hogger is not going to touch that top camp. He's not going to go in for that. He knows perfectly well that this is not going to work out for them. Same time now, though, at the bottom of the map, the blue team is making sure that they at least get one of the 2 camps, so it's going to be an even trade. And Maka, he is really going to be the one to watch out for. His damage output in most of the games where he locked in Lunara was pretty incredible. He just jibes really, really well with that hero. And if he can stay alive, if he can make sure that he does not get locked down and obliterated by Genji and by Liming, then he has a very good chance at not only doing solid damage to the Immortal itself, but also get a few kills in, or maybe even just take a couple of structures down. That's what they're trying to do right here. Tyrell is now moving in from the middle again. But yeah, that's already some solid damage initially in the game. Now Zelia, he's also someone that we need to watch out for. I talked about this during the draft a little bit, but he was a bit of a liability over the first 2 days. Now, it wasn't enough for other teams to take them down, but it was still a little bit uncharacteristic to see Zelia fall so many times, where usually he's able to just always get out of a dire situation without dying. So we'll see if that's maybe something that the Donuts can now try and exploit a bit here. First objective getting announced now, and let's see who takes the first Immortal. I'm hyped for the day, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really hyped. We have the best team still remaining in the bracket, and boy, it's gonna be good. Now, there is a loser bracket, of course, so whoever loses this series will still have a chance to make it to the grand final, to the best of 7, and fight back. But nobody really wants to go there. If you can play a few matches less, if you can just like relax a little bit, you know, sit tight, watch the stream, analyze your opponents a bit more, then you're always going to take that opportunity. But here we go. First Immortal is up, on already a bit of damage being done here. Blue team is losing a couple of hit points to the asset of Lunara. They're not really fighting back just yet. Level 7 would be a big asset for Liming in particular. Getting that Calamity is going to be hugely important here. But we have a few pokes from Ultralisk. And Liming obviously is really, really nice if you're ending up in the poke battle with your opponent. But for the time being, at least, Maka is doing a lot of work here. It's pretty much a 50-50 on the other hand, though. And interestingly enough, the blue team was able to overtake the Donuts a bit. So now they are in the lead here. The fight is inevitable at this point. Still poke happening. Ultralisk is going to try and position himself on the left where he can't be reached, and then Lauber has to decide whether he wants to take those shots or not. But this is looking more and more as if Team is able to get the first Immortal. Unless, of course, they lose a hero, and Zelia gets attacked right now. Dequaza is also a bit low. Make moves in with Lunara and was hoping to get the chance for a kill, but that didn't quite pan out. Rutsu diving in deep, mostly attempting to irritate Ultralisk here, but as you can tell, this is looking more and more like a victory for Team at least on Immortal number 1. Nobody is close to level 7, that's not going to play a role here. Bit of space created by Skok and his Urel, but here are the final touches on the red team's Immortal. That bad boy is gone, and the opportunity now for the blue team to take a small lead in this first game of the best of 5. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great match here. The Donuts have played some incredible Heroes of the Storm throughout the weekend. Top side, by the way, Urel still locked into that 1 versus 1 against Dequaza. By now we have level 7 also available for Team, and that gives us Calamity. Absolute standard build here from Liming. Same time now though, on level 7 we get the Leeching Scarabs and also the Choking Pollen. A little bit more burst for Lunara. And Bambi already finds itself on the retreat here, trying to hop back to safety as they're slowly taking down the Immortal. The fort has suffered a few hit point losses, and the fountain is down. So the fountain is already gone. With the fountain eliminated, no sustain on the bot lane anymore. They still have access to the top. No kill in the entire game just yet. And Rutsu still zipping around with Tracer, trying to needle them down. Tracer, definitely the mosquito of the Nexus, always buzzing around, bzz, 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 and just like needling you just a little bit, poking you here, poking you there. Death of a 1,000 needles. And Lauber nearly dying here too, but he gets out. There comes the jump on Genji. They're trying to see if they can maybe get a kill. And of course the camp is also highly contested now as the blue team is moving in once more. But they all stack up on the point, and with the shield of Tyrael, there's just no engage potential for the Donuts. And Nubarak was low at that point in time anyways, so he's not going to make the dive. And we still haven't seen a single kill. Not one. So here comes that push through the bot lane. Urel is alone up at the top. We had the blue team rotate down with full force to the bottom of the map in an attempt to make sure that they can secure the camp, which indeed they did. 6.5 minutes in. No kills yet. Holger must be colorblind. Green? Really? Dequaza? Green? I mean, there's better carpet colors than that. Anyways, Rutsu, that could be the first kill. Tracer is down. Lucio taking Tracer down. Overwatch versus Overwatch right there. And Lucio just a little bit stronger. The second they saw the recall, they immediately moved in. And Rutsu at that point in time already knew that it was pretty much hopeless. He was just trying to get out there somehow, but it didn't work out. Now the Immortal is back down on the map, and Genji plus Li Ming are immediately moving over to try and take the hit points down a notch. Both teams are closing in on level 10 abilities. Tracer obviously back by now. But this is still great timing for the blue team. And it's tricky. Very tricky for the Donuts to make anything happen here, because they are just a tiny little bit behind. So they know that heroic abilities are kicking in. They're taking the camp just before level 10 is available for Team. Good timing on that. Shockwave is in. Sanctification too. But they're just trying to stop the bleeding here. They're trying to limit the amount of damage that's being done. They know that they're going to lose the Immortal eventually, so they're reducing the shield as best they can. They didn't have level 10 abilities at the time, couldn't really fight for it, so they just accept that they're going to lose out on this. Locking in the double globe in the middle. Disintegrate obviously taken. Only reason that we have Disintegrate here is because a Nubarak gets played by the other side. Wave of Force, just a much better talent. Great also for playmaker potential, but if you have an Nubarak against you, you want to have this integrate so that you can burn the cocoon down as quickly as possible. That's going to be the biggest asset that you have in your arsenal to counter a Nubarak plays. And Lauber will have to account for that. So it doesn't really look like they can save the fort here. I would have been shocked if they could. With 50% on the shield, that Immortal is just going to hit a little bit too hard. Urel is trying to close the gap in experience at the bottom, but that also means the rest of the team is fighting a 5 versus 4 up at the top. 1 kill, 0. That's all that we saw so far. And Mark is still with a bit more damage through Lunara. He's top damage in the game. 21,000 for Mark at this point. Down to the bot lane. Yeah, they're diving in deep. And obviously that rotation was something that Skog already expected. So he's coming in, trying to push them back a little bit and buy some time for the rest of the team to move over and contest this, but there's just no helping it. The fort gets destroyed, and that means that both of the outer structures are eliminated. And the Donuts are on the back foot now. It's only a single kill, by the way, but the structural changes have been significant here. There's a huge difference between the two teams, and now the Donuts, they just need to play a bit more aggressive. They need to find opportunities to force good fights and then try and get some kills here. And we haven't seen a whole lot of those yet. Obviously Sanctification is up for Tyrael, and he could use that now over at the camp, but Dino in a bit of trouble. Alright, here comes also the ult from Lucio. Nicely done by the two of them. Cocoon is out as well, and Malfurion dies first. The laser show of Ultralisk as he's trying to sip them down, and they all explode. Tracer's the first one to fall after Malfurion. Urel dies too, and now Dino comes in with a follow-up kill attempt. Takes Bambi down. Bambi is dead. The only survivor is Lauber, and he barely makes it out of the fight. 5 kills to 0, and all of a sudden Team takes a significant lead. Not only do they have the talent advantage now, they also have a 1.5 level lead. So the experience advantage alone is already significant. But they have control now. And the Immortal is spawning in another 10 seconds, and I don't know how to tell you this. If you are a friend of the Donuts, you're not going to like what happens next, because they have to either fight with the talent disadvantage, or they give up the Immortal. And now we're talking about Immortal number 3, so they are trying to get at least some damage connected here. But it's pretty much the same play that they made on the second phase. They're just trying to limit the amount of damage that is being done here by the blue team. There's no way for them to soak the experience in time to stop all of this. They might just be able to get it towards the back end of the objective, but even that is going to be a little bit tricky. So here we go. There's the opportunity to maybe defend long enough for the tickle experience to give them the next talent. But it's already getting poked down slowly but steadily. Li Ming is just fantastic in situations like this. She's always going to YOLO out her combo no matter what. And either she does damage to a hero or to the Immortal. So it's a win-win either way. But level 13 is finally there. So they're still suffering a lot at the hands of Team Wah. But now they have a fighting chance to maybe go into the battle and try and turn it here. It's not going to be easy. They are the ones under pressure. But they try to go for Zelia. They can't get him though. Zelia is still alive and Lauba is retreating. Lauba is slowly retreating. Good root. Sanctification gets used just before the stun comes through. And Lauba is dead. Lauba down, but they get that kill against the Quasar. And maybe, just maybe, they can get more than that. Genji was low. Saved by Lucio. Too much Overwatch on the side of Team Wah. Another comp of Li Ming is missing, but the red team all of a sudden has a fighting chance to push them back here. If they would have gotten that kill on Genji, they could have snowballed this a little bit further. The Donuts making their mark on the game, making their play, but up at the top, Catapult and Camp are starting to move in. Malfurion has to move back, and still the lead on the hit points for the blue team. The next fight continues, and Li Ming mercilessly one combo after another, and it is getting really dicey for the Donuts. The Donuts, they are in trouble, but they're trying to race this down. They're trying to race it at this point. They're going to lose it likely, but still, they're reducing that shield as much as they can. This could have been much worse. From the Donuts' perspective, of course, they would have loved to win the Immortal, but given the circumstances, it's a little bit of a win. But that half level to 16, whew, yeah, you better try and take that Immortal down as quickly as you can. That's something that you need to do here. Try as quickly as you can, or you're gonna be in trouble. So, for now, can they save the keep? That's a big question. For the Donuts, they need to soak 16, but they want to defend against the Immortal before that happens. But yeah, just look at the timing. Team Wah locks in level 16 just for this push. And oh boy, that's trouble brewing for the Donuts. They need to try and defend this. It's not going to be easy at all. They keep suffering way too much damage. Yeah, that one's going to fall 100%. They try to get the kill on Urel. She pops the ult. The keep is already gone. And obviously, Team Wah with an attempt to maybe even go core here. Urel goes down. They try and get the lock and root on Teriel, but it's not enough just yet. The shield is suffering. And here comes the blue team in an attempt to lock in the 1-0 in this best of 5. The core is falling. It's falling quickly. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a game. They take down Lulnara, they take down the core, and Team Wah has the 1-0 over the Donuts in the winner bracket final. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Game number 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen, Team Wah with a success on the first map. They played it pretty well. It never really felt like the Donuts had an angle on them. There was maybe 1 or 2 fights where you could see that with a second kill, maybe a first kill, the red team might have a chance to snowball this slightly. But as it turned out, there was a lot of good control from start to finish and a very disciplined performance by the blue team that made it nearly impossible for the Donuts to, control the game. So they're actually banning out Zelia's Lucio. And I don't think that Zarya is gonna is not getting banned once in this series. Rutsu allows for too many plays with that. It's just a little bit too nuts. So yeah, there's that. Now, we got Junkrat banned out. This is Tomb of the Spider Queen after all, so when you have the grenades, you cannot only... I mean, you cannot only follow up on stuns and really just use the displacement to put heroes into a lot of trouble, but you can at the same time also have very annoying poke against anyone that is trying to turn in gems. So Junkrat is pretty much banned on any map that's out there, but this one in particular is where he excels. There's actually quite a few if you think about it. Infernal Shrine is obviously great for him too. Uther gets banned, okay, so I guess that's more so a ban against the potential double support with Uther as the main tank together with Vala, who is still up and could be picked now. And that's of course the biggest question, at least for the time being. Is Vala... No, Vala is not coming in as a first pick. Stukov instead. But that now gives Team the opportunity to lock Vala in for Dino. And that is gonna be dangerous, one way or another. Yeah, so Masquerade himself has actually played a bit of Uther as a main tank when they were trying to play Vala. And there she is. Vala gets taken and we get Blaze. Yeah, Vala Blaze to start things off. And the question will still remain, are we going to get a double support on their end? Likely. Could maybe play it with Medivh too. So those are two of the options that they have here. And then with Stukov, you could go into a sniper comp. You could go into either a Nubarak variant, try and get some burst damage. They decide in favor of Johanna here. Adds a little bit more wave clear. And Rutsu is playing Mephisto. Can always swap it over to Makke. Makke is the OG Mephisto in Europe. But Mephisto has been played now by multiple other players. Nick being one of them for the Hardos. Rutsu obviously already played Mephisto in this very tournament for the team to allow Makke to flex over into another hero. Into other damage dealers. Maybe they even ban... Okay, they ban Hogger. I was wondering if they at some point are going to start banning Lunara too, which so far hasn't happened here. Nubarak, so no Cocoon for the blue team. And I'm really curious what Masquerade is going to play here. And Ultralisk. I mean, for Ultralisk, Maiev and Kerrigan are, of course, two of the choices that always come to mind whenever we're talking about him. Haven't seen his Medivh in a while, but with Vala, we could actually see his Medivh. If they don't go for a double support here, but they want to add a layer of extra defense for Vala, Medivh would be a good choice. So here comes Deckard Cain, and we get Teriel that allows them Sanctification to keep Vala in play. It allows them the shield that he dishes out, and they can still flex into Medivh with Ultralisk if they want, or add a second support. And they can make all of that dependent on what exactly gets picked by the red team now. So I really like the way that they're drafting this at right this point. And it gives them a lot of flexibility. But the goal has to be taking out Vala. The Gambit component is huge on her level 1 talent when she goes auto attack. Here comes Maiev, and we get Leo. Skok on Leoric. Jojo, Leo, and Maiev at the front. And what is Ultralisk gonna go for now? The last and final pick for map number 2 in this best of 5 series. So what's the pick? What's the play? They're actually hesitating a lot. Second support, yes or no? That's the question. Kerrigan, full aggression. Teriel, Kerrigan, and Blaze, a lot of stuns. Vala is solo here. Is he still going to go into the auto attack style? We're going to find out now on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Okay guys, let's go! Game number 2, Team against the Chili Donuts. And well, this is a bit of a special one. I'm gonna get to that in just a second, but let's introduce the players first. We have Dequaza here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, on Blaze, Dino and Vala, Zelia playing Deckard Cain, Ultralisk plays Kerrigan, and Masquerade plays Teriel. On the right side of the map, the Chili Donuts with Makke on Mephisto. We got Skok on Leo, Banana H on Stukov, Rutsu on Maiev, and Lauba with Jojo as the frontline choice for the team. Stukov as usual with a low blow right now. The Austin's renewal kicking in for Leo. And this is also a little bit of a special one because this is actually a recast. So when we had this live during the tournament, there was a bit of a problem that occurred. Apparently Blizzard's servers were DDoSed. They definitely had some problems, and it resulted in the stream, but also all of the players having mini lags. So every, I want to say, 10 to 20 seconds, all of a sudden there were like mini freezes in the game. And that was a problem until the 8-minute mark. So everything that you see from here on until 8 minutes is kind of affected by it. And at some point the players, honestly initially I just thought it was on my end and maybe a problem, but I checked everything was fine and I was like, okay, it's not me, something's going on with the servers, but I wasn't sure if it would affect the players too. And then after a few minutes the players actually paused the game and said like, alright, something's weird is going on. Everybody confirmed that they had the same problem. And what solved the issue then after a while was when Dino, he was the first one, disconnected from the game, reconnected back in and reloaded, and apparently that solved it. So once that he told people, everybody we paused the game again, everybody disconnected from the game. Well, there's kill number 1, isn't there? Nope. Yep, there it is. The old man goes down. Yeah, no social distancing on Deckard Cain, and he pays the price. But yeah, everybody reloaded into the game. And then the problems were solved, but obviously part of the entire broadcast was already ruined for the game, so I decided to, at least for YouTube, make sure that we get the entire action here without the lag fiesta, so that's why this was casted after the fact. But as it stands, Dino's doing his thing, so currently looking at no double support here, but still his Vala is obviously pretty terrifying, and the front line is quite strong. Now, he has a bit of different support here in the sense that Tyrael also supplies Vala with a shield, so there's that. Obviously, it's all about the Gambit talent as usual, trying to not die while getting as many stacks as possible. And once that level 10 kicks in, Blaze can also support the bunker here. But we already have a bit of a party down at the bottom of the map. Blue team has so far not made any attempts down there, so they're not contesting this at all, it seems. And instead, the Siege Giants are freely taken by the Chili Donuts, as they're obviously trying to now tie the series and, you know, get back into all of this. But yeah, right now in the mid lane, that's where most of the action is taking place, since we have the two mercenary camps colliding. And it's a bit of a push towards the blue team towers, but of course those are helping with the defense quite a bit too. We got on level 4 the Ghastly Reach for Leoric. And Vala by now on 44 stacks. The Dino's actually doing fairly well here, and we're going to keep our eye on him. I mean, this is absolutely crucial. If you're playing a Vala, especially if you're getting this up... Ooh, Ultralisk! Haha, this save! Xaylia with a nice play here, making sure that Vala doesn't die in this case. So yeah, sorry, Kerrigan doesn't die. But yeah, at the end of the day, you want to watch out for Vala. Masquerade bites the dust here, Tyrael is down. Vala is the one that will carry into the late game if she doesn't get killed. And every single time you see a Vala pick, be it with a double support or not, the interaction is more or less the same. You want to prevent her from stacking properly, and you want to kill her as much as you can to remove all of these Gambit stacks. And if a team successfully pulls that off, they have a very good shot in the late game to absolutely demolish the Vala team. If they fail to do it, then late game is going to be very, very difficult for the front line in particular. Lauber obviously has the additional blind at least, so there's some place that they have against her no matter what, but it's still going to be a struggle. So at this point, the Chili Donuts, they got the level 7. They obviously would love to have the first turn in and then slowly start to snowball all of this. Maybe shut the team down early. And Dino gets attacked here, and that's a kill. Nice! First 5% of the attack speed are removed. Great play here. And Mephisto, the one to seal the deal. So Macke, once again, the OG Mephisto, at least in the European scene, able to pick the kill up. And that's 3 kills to 0 by now. So the Donuts opening things up with a bit of a bang on the second map. As long as they can get the turn in, that would be fantastic. We have 44 gems for the blue team, so they're a bit closer to getting the first Web Weaver wave. Banana H here also staying close to make sure that the turn in just doesn't happen. Level 7 talents by now available for both teams, and that gives Mand... Oh, there's another kill. 4 kills to 0. But yeah, the hot pursuit for Dino, so that's a great talent for him to get a bit of additional synergy. But the team that turns in first is still Team Wah. They're gonna get the turn in. 0 to 4 kills by now, but they get the objective. There's an opportunity to maybe turn things around a bit. And already now at the bottom of the map, the move for Leo. And Scorp needs to be careful. With 29 gems, you have to be very, very cautious that you don't go in too deep. Ultralisk is apparently trying to make a play for him. That's the first stun. And Leo is ghosting out quickly. Still a bit more pressure in the middle of the map. Rutsu is now helping out Leoric bot lane. But Vala is moving slowly towards the top with the rest of the team. as the party down here is starting to take those down. But I'm honestly a little bit concerned because 32 gems on Leo, that's always a bit of an issue. If one of your heroes holds this many gems in the early game, you need to be very careful that he doesn't die, because the first few web weaver waves usually help you to not get snowballed. But as it stands, the top web weavers get destroyed. In the middle, we have at least the towers taken down, so the gate has been obliterated, plus also the fountain has been removed. And they're actually getting a lot of damage done on the fort too. So this is a bit more impactful than I initially expected. And it seems like they're gonna get this one. Skog is helping out, but it's too late. The fort is gone. But the donuts are slowly getting closer to level 10, so they might be the first ones to get their heroics. But the kill against Jojo. A few gems lost here. Yeah, and that timing was, of course, quite unfortunate. First of all, the kill gave the blue team a big chunk of XP. That allows them to now close the gap to level 10 very quickly. And yeah, the entire fight just happened before the donuts got their level 10 abilities, so that's a huge problem here for them. First kill for team. We now get the usual talents. No surprises here. Durance of Hate for Mephisto. We still have not seen a talent for Jojo yet. I mean, normally you would go for the Falling Sword these days, but of course you can still go Blessed Shield if you think that the initial stun will do something for you. And that's exactly what they're doing here. So Skog has 45 gems. There's already the first move as they're going for Zalia. They try to go for Deckard, but the turn-in has also happened. This fight's going to be hugely important. Great Entomb over the wall. Masquerade already in trouble and can't jump out here, but Kerrigan is trying to make the next move with another combo. The Ultralisk already in play, and Rotsu gets caught by the Kerrigan combo and dies. One down. Beautiful sanctification here from Tyrael as he keeps the teammates alive, and now they are forcing the donuts back. The web weavers are already on the ground, but kill number 2 happens against Mephisto. He's dead. They're focusing on Skog. He dies too, and that's 26 gems down the drain. That one... Oh, no! Lauber! Oh, he loses 40 gems in total. Some, of course, were the ones that Leo dropped, but that is a bit of a disaster here. Alright, a little bit of a weird break there, but apparently, guys, that was also caused by those lags back then. I'll cover that in just a moment, but let's get back to what actually happened here. So we had now a lot of heroes dying on the side of the donuts, and they lost, of course, an abundance of gems. And all of that as the web weavers are active, which makes matters even worse, because it means they couldn't accomplish anything with that push. That's a massive setback. They get the charge on at least Kerrigan, so that helps a little bit. At least they get a counter kill, you know? But it's 5 kills to 5 now. The situation was obviously horrible here for the donuts, but that double kill is helping them a lot. And as you can see, all of this is happening at the 8-minute mark, so this is when the game was back to normal. But as you could tell, the whole problem and the whole fight that you saw previously, where the donuts were fired back a bit, happened around the time where these lag issues were still a problem during the live game. So what actually caused that one big lag spike there was that apparently, because we all left the game and rejoined it, Blizzard's system split the entire replay into 2, so I had to switch that and connect it properly, so apologies for that. But now we're back in the game, and obviously there's a slight experience lead by now for Team, despite the fact that they're behind in kills. Yeah, and everybody at this point was just like trying to reset the game from scratch, so it's more or less even, but the big difference is still that structural advantage for the blue team, as they already took down a fort on the right side. And it's all about trying to get ahead here again. But the one thing that I mentioned in the early game quite a bit, and I want to touch upon again, is Dino. Dino died once with Vala, but now his team gets the second turn-in, so they got web weavers touching ground once more, and he's already sitting at 140 stacks with only 1 death, despite the fact that he's playing all of this with a single support. And they are trying to get the kill, as you can see. I mean, they really want Vala, but the save from Zalia with the old man telling stories again, and then also Masquerade with the sanctification. So Dino survives, and by now he has level 13 talent. He has Gloom in this case to make himself a little bit more sustainable. Well, it's easier for him to survive through a lot of the damage, especially from Mephisto. Obviously, he could have gone for Tempered by Discipline, but that doesn't help him when Mephisto really unleashes the output. So now they're pushing through the middle already. Top and bot lane are getting attacked by the web weavers, and they're in trouble too. Dino is already at the 3rd tier for his reward with 150 stacks that he currently holds, and that's also getting reflected in the damage output. 37,000 damage puts Vala easily in the top spot, and there's of course a lot more damage and control for the blue team. But they're currently fighting without Vala. Vala is now slowly moving in. This is a 5 versus 4. It's a 5 versus 4, and the Donuts are not winning it. They're trying to take Masquerade down, but they can't, and instead it's Rutsu that's in trouble. He needs to jump out. Dino also helping out now, but they're slowly retreating. But the fact of the matter is that the fort at the top lane and the one at the bottom of the map have now all been destroyed, and the Donuts have lost their outer ring of defense. Big problem for them here. They are a level behind and they are struggling. And Dino's already positioning himself up at the top. So we are definitely going to see a move for bosses, apparently. So it seems like there's a bit of a double check happening from the Donuts, so they should be able to force this one back. I don't think the team is going to be confident enough to go for the fight around the boss, so they give up the boss for now, but they go for the battle and they get the Carrigan kill. Sorry, Carrigan gets the kill together with the old man against Jojo, and they're getting Mephisto too. So with level 16 and a 5 versus 3 situation, they can easily move over to the boss, claim it, and then try to go for top keep. They're doing a great job here. And of course with level 16 we're getting Manticore for Vala, which is increasing her damage output, especially against the frontline heroes of the Donuts, even further. Yeah, Team they are looking at... I mean, right now, they are the ones who are pushing the game and who make all the choices. So if they lock in a 2-0, then the Donuts would have a pretty... I mean, they would have a pretty big problem in the series. This is the best of 5 after all, but if you are down 0-2, you need to win 3 in a row, and a full reverse sweep on this level is always unlikely. It has happened before, and those are obviously some of the most amazing matches when that happens, but if they can pull it off or not, that's a different question to be answered different time. Game's not over yet, on the other hand, and we've seen some incredible comebacks here. The Donuts might be able to turn this around if they can just properly win a team fight. I mean, they have enough gems to get the turn in. So if they can go for the turn in there, then they might be able to gain some momentum. But Banana H, he dies to Deckard Cain. The support is gone. The rest of the team is on the run. Maiev dies second. It seems like they are going to lose their fort now. Oh, sorry, their keep. Carrigan with the Chrysalis, kept alive, and once more it is Zelia trying to cover the retreat for them. And the keep falls. The keep is gone. 9 kills, 2-6. Great job once again by Team. Wow, they are insane. And, well, I'm not sure if they can be beaten here. But as I mentioned before, if the Donuts are just somehow able to get a kill, they can make the play. Skork sticking it out there a little bit too early. Marke! Not like this. Marke jumping over for some additional damage, and it absolutely backfires. Gets caught and killed just as everybody else is respawning. Leo, of course, scouted the situation out, and Marke thought he could get some easy damage in, but that was just too much of a risk, and they bursted him down immediately. Now the move for the keep, and Leo has to be careful. 45 gems for him. They need to save those. Losing the keep is already a disaster in and of itself, but if they lose the gems and Leoric here, that would be even worse. And Skork goes straight into the middle, and he gets sniped. The gems on the ground. Lauber's trying to recover them. They zone him out immediately. 11 kills, 2-6. Team with the big plays here once again. 60,000 damage from Mephisto and Vala. Mephisto even overtaking in the #1 spot for a moment here, but it's still 19-17, a 2-level lead for the blue team. They're trying to force the fight, but it's always a 4 versus 5. And of course, things are not looking good for the Donuts. They're being eaten alive here by Team. Blue team is just absolutely crushing now, despite the fact that at least initially the Donuts were looking really good in this game. The lag problems that I highlighted a bit earlier were, of course, very unfortunate and might have played a role here too, but it still doesn't take anything away from the fact that the blue team is just coordinating their attacks way better right now. And Dino, again, he only died once. He plays with the solo support here. He has a great front line, of course, and the Sanctification, the Bunker, they all help. but he still plays an incredible Vala and is getting mad value with his hero, which helps them time and time again. That, in addition to all of the CC that they're running with Blaze and his jet propulsion, with Carrick, and Vala even with her Rain of Vengeance, Deckard Cain 2 is just a bit too much for the Donuts to handle. And now that everybody pushes into the middle again and they got another Webweaver wave, the goal is obviously to end the game here. We get the Acrobat on level 20. We already have the fortified bunker now and the bottomless flask, so they can really siege up on all of this. The Entomb at the bot lane didn't catch anything. And a bit of a desperate attempt here by the Donuts, but Team is now going through the mid lane, straight for the core, trying to drop them here. Dino under pressure, but they save his ass once again, and here comes the play. Banana Age is low, and he goes down. Team going through the chili donuts like hot butter through cheese as the sanctification gets used, and they are absolutely obliterating the defense. Mephisto and Leo both down, so is the core, and the blue team takes the 2-0 lead in the best of 5 against the chili donuts. Game number 3, Towers of Doom, Team against the Chili Donuts. So, thankfully, the lag problems seem to be gone now. All that was needed was for most of the players to simply restart the game, and then they disappeared. Gonna be honest, that's a huge relief for me, because I was a bit afraid that we might have to cancel the entire day and just push the final day of the tournament to next week or something, but I guess we can play it out still. The 2-0 advantage for Team as we're heading into Towers of Doom. Zarya, yeah, she's not going to see the light of day in any of these games, not when Rutsu is playing. The blue team looked at the playstyle and they just said, guys, just ban this out. It's not happening. Do we see Vala again, though? That's the bigger question. With Uther banned, that's obviously a direct ban against Vala. Now Stukov is also eliminated. There's still a chance that the Donuts are now locking Vala in for themselves as a first pick. If they don't do that, they go for Brightwing. I think there's a very big chance that the blue team is gonna do exactly the same thing they did on the last map. Put Vala into play and then try and build a composition around her. This is a great map for her too. There's a lot of fights, there's a lot of stacking opportunities. Ooh, but yeah, Junkrat. That's a good point. Junkrat is actually still up. Was not banned, and therefore we get the rat. Zeratul played by Rutsu immediately afterwards. And Blaze gets locked into. Alright. We definitely have an interesting one on our hands now. Towers of Doom, map number 3. So far things haven't really gone all too well for the Donuts. They're down 2 maps. In order to turn this around, they need to win 3 in a row now. Not impossible, but definitely pretty difficult and tricky. And what are the bans here? Maka and Lauba still have to pick. The Blaze pick could be a bit of a bait. I mean, Lauba is one of the few tank players that is willing to use Blaze as a main tank. Doesn't happen a lot, but he occasionally does it. So they could use Blaze in the main tank position and then get another one on the side lane. I guess it's a little bit unlikely. I'm just trying to say it's not impossible. So maybe they're going to go for a bit of a bait and switch here. But the next double pick is on the side of the blue team. So Team with Azalea still in need of picking a support, and a Masquerade, of course, waiting for the main tank here too. Varian and Karazim. Alright, Varian, Karazim in the house. Taunt into Junkrat displacement or 7-sided strike and the Hakalik. Yeah, that's a lot of CC that they have. That is a ton. Okay. Final 2 picks for the red team. Maka and Lauba. Towers of Doom. This is their last chance. Well, not quite the last chance. If they lose here, they drop into the loser's bracket. So it's not that they're out of the tournament yet. But they're going for the oldie but goldie. Lauba is once again relying on Muradin. And Maka with his Lunara. Very successful with that throughout the tournament so far, but not against the blue team yet. So, final pick. Ultralisk, once again. Are we going to see some range damage, or is he just going to add another hero like Maiev or Karrigan to add even more CC to a composition that is already heavily relying on crowd control? And stuns, of course. And there it is. Maiev gets locked in, and off we go. Game number 3 in the winner bracket final between Team and the Chili Donuts, everybody. Wah, wah, wah. Blue team against red team. Team against the Donuts. Dequaza on Dehaka. Masquerade on Varian. Zelia with Karazim. Ultralisk with Maiev. And Dino on Junkrat. The red is in the house, everybody. Rutsu on Zeratul on the right side. We got Mako and Lunara. Banana Age on Brightwing, Lauber on Mirrodin, and Skok is playing Blaze. Let's go! And also, as we're heading into the possibly last map of this particular series, again, another big shout out to our Mr. X, who sponsors the X Cup series, the X Cup Summer and the X Cup Fall. All of it sponsored by a single private person that wants to stay anonymous, our Mr. X. So, big shout out. Helps to support the European esports scene here and makes all of this possible in the first place. Already a big brawl, by the way, at the start in the mid lane. Everybody is just going full 5-man mid on this one. And we nearly had kills against both teams, but everybody walks away from it alive. It's actually remarkable that there was not a single death in this last one. That was kind of crazy. So, top side, we got Skok up against Dequaza. The 1-1 lane has been set up as Rutsu goes again into a build that we have seen from him in this tournament previously. So, full on cleave plus Void Prison. At this point, I think you can say it's the old school style, whereas the meta build on Zeratul is way more hinging around the mobility and Might of the Nerazim on level 10. But this looks like we're going to get more isolation plays, not necessarily meant to be played in any kind of big fashion around wombo combos, but more so to isolate some targets. And talking about plays, there's a big one being made by the blue team as they invade the camp and steal the pumpkins away. Yeah. Screw Thanksgiving. They're going full Thanks-taking over here. They see the camp, they take the camp, and walk away. So, double camp for them, a lot of pumpkins, and a kill to boot. Zeratul is down, but so is Maiev, going a little bit too deep on this one. Ultralisk dying, but also the kill thanks to Varian against Zeratul. There's the taunt on level 4, and they already moved back into the mid lane. I mean, it's a really good advantage for them in experience, mainly because they were able to take both of the camps. Mirrodin also getting attacked here. Oh, Brightwing with a save. Nicely done. Lauber could have died in that moment, but thanks to Brightwing, still alive here. So, yeah, good stuff. Again, cleave build, as expected. Reverberation on level 4 for Mirrodin for some added damage too. And I want to see what Zeratul can do in the long run. It's not going to be easy for him. Keep the isolation on the Haka in mind, so that's a good ult against Zeratul, the drag alone. Then you also have, of course, the disc that can be thrown out by Maiev and taunt. For Rutsu, this is going to be a dangerous game. A very dangerous game. But if he can get the kills for them, that could tilt the balance in their favor. But it's not going to be easy for him at all. So Rutsu needs to be very, very careful how he plays this out. A good isolation with the Void Prison later on in the game is also going to do a lot for them potentially. But yeah, we'll see. For now, it's the first altar phase. That means 3 altars are up on the map. Top left, top right get usually exchanged. But look at this. Rutsu is already getting a bit aggressive. They're trying to delay it in the middle. First 4 shots have been fired. The same also at the bottom. So both teams just exchange a few shots. And as the Haka is getting the altar channeled. There it is. A little bit of a drag. And there's the kill. Brightwing goes down. The fruit fly gets hammered. They put the fly swatter out. And then just simply dropped Brightwing. So that's 2 kills to 1. It's a slightly inexperience that leads to an earlier level 7 for them. And they're working on the next kill at the bot lane with a tether and a taunt against Lauber. They're under pressure. Chili Donuts are getting pressured again. The spray game is on point, and I appreciate that as much as the next guy. But we need a little bit more from the Donuts, not only that. Skullcracker on level 7. Yeah, it's time for Lauber to crack a few skulls, because right now the only one that's getting cracked is them. But nice pressure against Varian. I like that. Skok is trying to move in. The camp, is it going to be stolen again? Yes, they steal it again. They steal the camp time and time again. Team respects nothing here. They move in deep. They take the camps. They got the pumpkins once more. And guys, look at the experience distribution. Like, they are taking it over and over. You know, the single camp has been taken by the Donuts. There's the kill against Varian on the other side, but Lunara goes down to Muradin, barely jumps out. They're all low, and Blaze gets crushed. A little bit too hot for the fire bat. Another kill against Zeratul, and oh boy, they are in trouble. Nice tether, Ultral is still alive, Brightwing with a save attempt that didn't quite come through for them. And now it's 6 kills to 2, 1.5 level lead, and they take the bottom bell tower. Whew. That is rough. You gotta give it to Team on the other hand. These guys are just so insanely strong. It's pretty incredible. I mean, you gotta respect that. It's just impressive how well these guys are playing, how nicely they are coordinating this. Now the double shot is fired with the Alder, 22 points to 36. And I gotta be honest, you look over to the player lineup that they are playing with, and these guys have been playing together for a long time now. But if I just read you the player names, and then I put on the other side players like Mene, Breeze, Wooby, Poik, Hazu, and others, who would you think is going to be part of the best team in European Heroes of the Storm right now? I think most people would go for the former HTC players. But what the boys around Team have been doing in the last couple of months is nothing short but impressive. They are the #1 in Europe right now, and for very good reason. Once again, they show a dominant performance here. They are oftentimes on the trolley side, that's definitely true, and especially when they feel they are ahead, they're going deep into the non-meta picks. I mean, how many times have we now seen Dino, for example, go straight up for Gazlo in one of the qualifiers? But when they have to show up, they definitely do, and this is just visible here once again. Now, they haven't won this series yet, they haven't won this tournament yet, but it's pretty clear who is the team to beat here at the X Cup Fall. Team is incredibly dominant in Europe right now. They are insanely strong, and we are still waiting for someone to step up and just simply shut them down. Might happen today, might not, might happen the next season, time will tell. For now though, they try and play it against Dino. The palm! Absolutely perfect. A nice Void Prison as well to buy them a bit more time, but it doesn't seem to be enough here. The fight turns against them. Lunara is trying to get the damage out. Rutsu is low. Dino is still alive and dishing out damage. And Zelia on the Piggy is dodging out all the damage and waiting for his cooldowns to come back up. Lauber gets taunted as he's trying to jump back to safety. Muradin is in trouble. Zeratul into the backline once more, but the Dwarf is down. The Dwarf is dead. A couple of the pumpkins made it through the core on the red team side, is now down to 16 points. And unbelievably, Dino survived through all of this. They couldn't get the rat, and now we have 19,000 damage for Lunara. We have 20,000 for... Yeah, 20,000 for Junkrat, and at the same time 19k for Maiev, so both of them are looking real strong here. Another Altar gets channeled and then drops the core down to 11 points. And it seems like they're going to get the boss too. Brightwing is moving in, trying to help Blaze out as he's getting fully attacked by everyone around. But they're pushing them not only back, they nearly killed Zelia. So maybe Chili Donuts have finally something that they can do to get control in the game again. But they just missed out on the level 13 talent, so there's a talent advantage for the blue team. But if they're losing a hero now, if they lose Masquerade, then just maybe they can take that fight after all. But there's the Tether, there's the Riptire, and they get the kill on Brightwing. Brightwing gets flattened like a pancake. The isolation on Muradin makes it into the bunker, cleanses it out here. But boy, are they in trouble. Up against the talent advantage. There's the VP. Muradin is dead. And so is Zeratul. He couldn't kill Dino. Now Blaze dies. 11 kills to 2. And look how low everybody is on the blue team. Everybody is so freaking low. It always seems as if the Donuts could just do a little bit more damage and would all of a sudden snowball the fight. But every time the dust settles, it's the blue team that is still standing, and everyone else is dead. These guys are just crazy. They are so freaking good. Coordination is impeccable. Now they have a 2-level advantage. They're 9 kills ahead. They take camp after camp again. They've had for a long time now the control over the bot lane, which of course is the most important one on Towers of Doom, because the pumpkins will attack the core if you have full control over the bottom of the map. Another altar spawns. They take the pumpkins again, and now it's double pressure against the donuts. The bot lane is pressured since 6 pumpkins are now trying to move in, and they have to fight for the altar. Here comes the stun. 13 versus 13. Blaze. They want the kill. And Ultralist. This time he goes down. 10 HP. Finally the kill against Maiev. But can they snowball it? They need to. And guys, again, the pumpkins are on the move, and all of them are making it in. Varian is getting killed. 5 points to 36, but the donuts haven't given up yet. They finally get an altar channeled, and they get 3 points. That just feels sad. You finally win the team fight, and then as a reward for all your troubles, you take 3 points off the opponent's core. Congratulations. Now, of course, they at least can go for the boss and make a play here. Some staggered kills would also be nice, and it seems like Xaylia doesn't like living. 4 HP! If he survives, I'm gonna eat my keyboard. Yes! There's the kill. Dino gets attacked too. But they get... What the fuck is happening here? They get Lunara, they get Zeratul, they kill everybody again. Are you kidding me? What? How? Guys, check this out. The entire fight here, it starts with Kerosene falling, and then this disaster happens. Now the boss gets attacked. Lauba is likely gonna die here. He's trying to escape. He doesn't stand a chance. He falls. And they are absolutely crushing. I mean, what on earth? 16 talents are available now for Team Wah. And they're gonna get the boss. They're gonna move in and take the boss. It is just incredible. Maiev just cleaving it out. Junkrat doing damage earlier. Boss is taken, and that puts the core down to 1 point to make things worse. A triple altar phase has just started. They have a talent disadvantage, and they're up against 3 altars, and all that Team Wah has to do is take a single altar. Just 1. And they are moving in to the grand final of the tournament. Up at the top, you just need to create some space for Dino. Brightwing is at the bottom. Good luck with that. Here comes Rutsu. He goes for the interrupt. Shots are fired. Look at the Haka. Sneaky de Quasar. Marcus sees it. Marcus sees it! And he comes in time to interrupt the Haka. They fight at the left side though. Can they win it? That's the question. The bunker is up. Rutsu gets taken down by the towers. That's a bad first step. The Haka is threatening the channel on the right side over and over again. It's a 5 versus 4 now. They're trying to get kills, and they might be able to lock one in, but Brightwing died too, and that puts them at a severe disadvantage here. Masquerade is still alive, and they're keeping everybody in play. Lauba gets attacked, Skog as well. Make with a kill, but the Haka completes the channel, and that is game. We're gonna see the blue team move on to the grand final of the tournament. Well done, a 3-0 victory for Team Wah over the Chili Donuts.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.